So what if it's not okay then? You know,
What do you mean, not okay?
so if everybody was like, you take judgment off and looks so please everybody, but one of these people is like literally unsafe because they are not okay, don't we have to kind of be, I mean, don't we have to be aware a little bit that some changes are potential?
That's why I said 99%, not 100%. Because there's people who do really bad things that we can't be okay with. If somebody came into my house while my family and I are asleep, and he wanted to do bad things to my house or to me, I'm not going to go, oh, I'm noticing you're stealing my stuff. And I'm noticing that you're trying to hurt my wife. There's no way under the sun I would get my Louisville Slugger or my whatever gun that I happen to, and I wouldn't be okay with that. That's 1% of the time, or far, far less. And we obviously don't. The other 99% of our days don't have those things going on, though. That's the where I'd like to focus with that in mind, because I totally accept it. Totally. Yeah. I mean, if you go, I've traveled all over this country. I haven't been to too many others, but no matter where I go, it still feels like when I go outside on that day, when I lived in California for a couple of years, back east for a couple of years, Midwest for 3 years, 4 years back east. I still, when I go outside, it feels like this. Or when I'm in my days, it feels like this in most places, right? Most places. Not all, for sure. And I'll give you that. And you tend to get what you're focusing on. If your energy is angry and your energy is fearful, you will find that. Just like if you want, I don't know if this is still the case. When I was in college, they always told us, and I didn't ever do any, the closest I've ever done to drugs is NyQuil. I don't do drugs. I never did. The idea of smoking just makes no sense to me. Having 200-degree Fahrenheit smoke going into my lungs doesn't make any sense. And I'm not having, if you smoke, fine. I don't care about you. But I care about you, but it's your call. It doesn't matter to me if you smoke. It's between you and your lungs. If you drink, it's between you and your liver. I don't care. Again, when I was in college, all of that was available. They always told us, if you want to find drugs, you can find drugs. And this, even at BYU, they said, if you want to find drugs, you can find drugs there. I don't know if that's still the case or not. I don't care. So what you're saying is exactly right. What you are, you're going to tend to, the kind of thoughts that you have is what you're going to kind of find out there. And if you have angry thoughts, you'll notice that your experience tends to be angry as well. If you're peaceful, your experience will tend to be peaceful as well. I say tend to. It doesn't mean one-to-one always. But I really, really, a long time ago said, I want to be peaceful as much as anything else. I want to be happy. I want to be peaceful. And I've tried to figure out what works to make myself peaceful and happy. And I find that wherever I go, things seem to be peaceful and happy. I don't find myself in situations where people are arguing or fighting. And maybe that's just a weird anomaly for me. I had to come up yesterday for a meeting. I came from my home, and I didn't want to, I was lazy. I didn't want to park in the parking lot where I usually park, so I parked over in the education building parking lot. And it was a 45-minute meeting, and I thought, I hope that I don't get a ticket. And I put out there, ticket.
You're bad.
I put that out there and walk out to the car, and a little green thing on my car. Now, that was the reality, right? I show up. I could have gotten really mad. Man, how am I going to, why did they do that? Or how could they do this to me? I pay enough to this school anyway, and I give enough, and now they're making me pay $16 to set my car in that little space. But I went, all right, okay. I did what happens when you get tickets. And I got to remain peaceful. That's the whole point of it, is I know that if I would have resisted it and said, no, this can't be happening, when it has already happened, then I would just be hurting myself. And I said, okay, I'll call it something besides a ticket. I'll say, I'm making a donation to the wonderful police group that takes care of us so well, and I'll write it off on my taxes or something. Do you know what I mean? As a donation. Doesn't matter if it's true or not. As long as that's how I think about it, I'm going to be peaceful and I'm going to be okay. And maybe if I went in there and I said, really sorry, I did this, they might waive it. Probably not. But if I went in going, you stupid idiots, why do you give me this ticket? They'll probably double it right there, won't they? You don't want that? Dang. How do you feel about $32? No, they wouldn't, but you get the idea. So, we stop and smell the roses. We stop, we look, we accept that the roses are our present moment reality. What would make this even better? What do you think? There's a fourth thing. How do you, okay, she said gratitude. How can you get to gratitude in every moment?